This is Dmytro Finishin, war hero, one of Ukraine's best snipers. In an interview he said, "In 90 days I used the rifle 4 times, the drone every single day." How did the most feared presence on the battlefield for nearly a century become a supporting role in modern war? And why did one of the best snipers in the world trade a precision rifle for a joystick? To understand that, we go back to Stalingrad. 1942. This is Vasily Zaitsev, a hunter from the Ural Mountains. He'd been shooting since childhood. He arrived at Stalingrad as a naval clerk and asked to go to the front. His commanders didn't argue. He was patient. He knew how to position himself so the sun never hit his face. He read German movement before the Germans did. Up to that point, just another recruit. But then German commanders started dying, one after another. Someone was stacking Nazi officers day after day. That someone was Zaitsev. The Germans sent Major Erwin Koenig, an instructor from the Berlin sniper school, to hunt him down. Zaitsev won the duel. Koenig became just another number, one of the greatest marksmen in history, willing to work the front line. By the end of the war, 240 kills. Nearly 100 years later, a Russian drone pilot, identity protected until May 2024, already had over 300 Ukrainian soldiers to his name, the greatest marksman in history, risking his life on the front line. Fewer kills than a kid with a joystick and a grenade, zip-tied to a flying piece of plastic. November 2009. Helmand, Afghanistan. Craig Harrison was covering a British operation when 2 Taliban fighters set up a PKM and started tearing through his unit. Distance, 2,700 yards. His rifle was rated for 1,600. He spent minutes dialing in with his spotter, using objects in the terrain as reference points. The first shot was in the air for nearly 5 seconds before it connected. He didn't stop to process it. He was already cycling the bolt. Hit the second. Then took out the PKM with a third. He didn't find out he'd broken the world record until months later. An Apache the next day confirmed the distance. 2 dead, 1 machine gun down, the ceiling most snipers never get close to. Now let's talk about snipers. Not you and me messing around in PUBG. The best marksmen their countries produce. A U.S. Army study analyzed 1,226 snipers across Iraq and Afghanistan. 70% never fired on an enemy in combat. Among those who did, the average was 3 to 5 kills over an entire deployment. Chris Kyle, the best American sniper of the Iraq War, killed 160 men over 4 years, 40 a year. Now look at the other side. Oleksandr Dakhno, 29-year-old former gamer from Ukraine. Over 300 Russian soldiers eliminated in a year and a half with FPV drones. More than Chris Kyle in 4 years, more than Vasily Zaitsev in the entire Second World War. In July 2025, Ukraine's drone forces were hitting an average of 756 targets per day. Harrison needed years of training, a spotter, 3 rounds, and an Apache helicopter to confirm the distance. Dakhno needed 3 weeks, a grenade, and a button. But the advantages aren't just mechanical, they're psychological. Lieutenant Colonel Dave Grossman, author of On Killing, studied how physical distance lowers the psychological barrier to taking a life. In World War I, a bayonet kill meant you saw the despair on the man's face. The tears. You felt his body heat. 1 kill was enough to break a person. A bomber pilot dropping ordnance from altitude saw nothing. The sniper operates right at the edge of that theory. He sees the target through the scope. He knows if the guy is smoking, laughing, talking. And when the shot goes, he watches the body drop. He sees the final moments. He sees what he did. Close enough sometimes to hear it. And no matter how cold you think you are, that accumulates. It costs something. The drone operator sees none of that. He watches a figure moving, closes the distance, presses a button. The feed shakes and cuts to black. The drone goes with the target. No camera left to film the body. No audio left to capture the sound. Just a black screen. That's the most underestimated advantage of the drone, and probably the most brutal one. It doesn't have to reckon with the death it causes. A good sniper takes at least 6 months to be ready. The equipment runs between $8,000 and $10,000. Rifle, thermal scope, rangefinder, bipod. .338 Lapua Magnum runs about $10 a round, and you burn through thousands in training. Before the first real mission, the bill is already significant. In the field, the sniper works past 300 meters. Inside that, an AK-47 gets the job done faster. Under ideal conditions, consistent hits out to around 1,200 meters. Beyond that, you're depending on weather, wind conditions, and at some point, luck. The shots past 1,500 meters that made history were always described by the shooters themselves as exceptional. But the shooting is only the beginning. Plan the infiltration. Reach the position without being seen. Stay completely still for hours, sometimes days. Identify the right window, and not waste it, because if the first shot misses, the target moves, drops behind cover, and it's over. All that planning, all that risk, all that time, for one shot that doesn't come back around. Though it's not always that dramatic. Even in the best case scenario, your perfect 2-kilometer shot took out one enemy. One. Before we talk drones, one thing needs to be said. Snipers are cooler, objectively. As Sun Tzu once said, drones are gay. A drone operator is trained in under a month. A kamikaze FPV costs around $500. It runs thermal too. Not all of them. Most are built to be as cheap as possible. But some are dedicated spotting platforms, and they have one advantage the sniper will never have. A scope, no matter how good, looks at the same angle the shooter does. If the enemy is inside dense tree cover or a well-built trench, you simply can't see him, and hitting him is even less likely. The drone looks down. A forest has a canopy, but it has gaps. A trench has side cover, but it's open on top. The angle that protects you from a ground-level rifle doesn't protect you from something coming out of the sky. With aerial thermal, body heat shows up regardless of how much vegetation is around it. A bullet is about 1 centimeter wide. If it passes through the gap between someone's legs, nothing happens. A standard FPV has a kill radius of 2 to 5 meters. You don't need to hit center mass. You need to get close. A standard drone is the size of a pigeon and flies at 50 miles an hour. And when it misses, you send another one. The operator is sitting in a shelter miles away, safe, with more drones on the shelf. And beyond all of that, the sniper has to actually be there. He needs the physical conditioning to carry a rifle that weighs over 11 pounds, run, climb, move. He's in the blast radius of a mortar. The drone operator can weigh 280 pounds, play Roblox between sorties, and still outkill any sniper in history from inside a bunker. In December 2023, 8 U.S. Marines graduated from the last Scout Sniper course in Corps history. After nearly a century, infantry sniper platoons were disbanded. The question that remains, if drones account for 70% of casualties in Ukraine, if an FPV pilot eliminates more people than Chris Kyle, if Finland itself retired the traditional sniper, is there still a place for a man with a rifle and patience? In urban environments, the sniper is still king. Drones don't operate well there. Windows, rooftops, and rubble offer positions no quadcopter can hold. As one Ukrainian sniper put it, then it's more psychological pressure. The enemy will be afraid to walk, knowing that snipers are working somewhere. In special operations, the sniper survives too. Not every target can be blown up. Sometimes you need a man who gets close, watches for days, and eliminates a specific target with 0 collateral damage. An FPV takes out a room. A sniper puts a round exactly where it needs to go. There are scenarios where the first option is unacceptable, and the second is the only one. And as they say, if you can't beat them, join them. Ukrainian snipers don't work alone anymore. They use reconnaissance drones to locate targets, calculate distance and wind, and guide the shot. The world record of 4,000 meters in 2025 was made exactly that way. Sniper on the ground, drone in the air, AI running the numbers. But something needs to be said before this ends. War isn't a constant. It's a snapshot of a specific moment in time. What worked in Ukraine might be useless in Taiwan. What destroyed tanks in the Donbass might mean nothing in a Southeast Asian jungle or a Middle Eastern desert. Every war is a product of its era. Stalingrad was decided by men with rifles in the ruins. Iraq was decided by guided munitions and night vision. Ukraine is being decided by $500 drones and operators trained in 3 weeks. But remember, drones are plastic. The operator's still made of flesh. A 338 Lapua still travels at nearly 3,000 feet per second through the air. And it's still killing.